I just wanted to briefly talk about how to compile a very simple program in Unix, even if you're using your personal computer on Windows or on Mac. I'll share this link with you. That's going to allow you to remotely access ocelot.aul.fiu.edu, which is a computer sitting at FIU, either through PuTTY, which is a program that Windows users have access to, or with your terminal on Mac using the SSH command. If you open this link, it's going to tell you all the details about it. And I'll show you a quick demo today, but I'll show you how it works. This is a very simple C program. As you see, we include stdio.h. That's kind of similar to importing a library in Java or in Python. And this is a main function. As you see, the obvious difference between C and Java is that there is no class here. So there's a function. We don't call it method. We call it function because it's not object-oriented. And this function, which is called main, would be the start of any program, right? Every C program has a main function, just like every Java program has a main method. And as you see, it doesn't need to have a specific signature like public static main, public static void main string bracket args. It's not gonna be like Java main method with a special signature. It's much more relaxed. And you know, instead of saying system.out.print or system.out.println or system.out.printf, we simply say printf in C. And that's gonna print a hello world on the screen. So it is quite simple. Just like Java programs, you know, you have a semicolon at the end of the line, and it's very similar to Java. What I'm going to show you today is I'm going to remotely access Ocelot from my personal computer, which is the one I'm using right now. And I'm going to write this code, compile it using GCC or CC command, and then execute it, and then show you how it works, right? So I want to do everything here in a quick demo. After the following slides, I'm gonna share this setup for a slide with you. These slides contain some good information about how to access Ocelot and what happens if something goes wrong, how to get help. Normally, if you are doing it for the first time, you should have no problem. It's asks you for a username, which is your FIU email without the @fiu.edu part. And the password would be the initial of your first name, followed by your Panther ID, followed by the initial of your last name. So it is quite simple to use your initial username and password to log in. After the first time you log in, it asks you to change your password. So your initial password only is good for once, but after that you will have to change it. If you have already changed your password and you don't know what the password is, you want to reset your password, then you follow these steps. It goes through all details how to do it. Let me show you how I get connected with PuTTY. I'm on a Windows, so I'm not able to show you how to do how to use terminal in Mac to get connected to Ocelot, but it's gonna be very simple. You know, the commands, the instructions that you see in that web page clearly tells you how to do it. It's quite simple. It's just following a few lines and that's it. Let me share the PuTTY window. So the link to download this for Windows users is also available on the web page that I just showed you. Here, what you need to do, you need to write as hostname ocelot.aul.fiu.edu. This semester, the IT team has created another machine, Ocelot 2 as well. So you can either use Ocelot or Ocelot 2, both work. I'm going to use Ocelot. The port is 22, and you need to set this to SSH, and you need to press open. Also, you can go to the appearance and change the font. If you think it's a small, you can change that, or maybe change the color or something like that. But let's keep it simple. Here, I'm going to press open. When you press open, oh, okay, I have to share again. Another window opens up. This is the window that opens up. It's a black and white terminal, which you can type things like my username. Sorry, my dog is here, so sorry about that. Okay, so you put the username. Your username would be your email address without the @fiu.edu. Mine is Kekolami, but yours can be like ABCD004 or something, right? And the password would be your initial password, or if you have already changed it, it's gonna be the new password. As you just noticed, in Unix, there is no asterisk. So you don't see any asterisk when you're typing your password. So if you don't see that, don't panic. Don't think that your keyboard is malfunctioning or something. When I type my password, I entered like the 10 characters, but you don't see anything. There was no asterisk. So don't feel that your keyboard is not working. It works, but it doesn't show any asterisk on the keyboard, on the monitor, on the terminal. When you're logged in, your password works. It says, welcome to Ocelot, now on CentOS 8. CentOS is a Unix based operating system that allows you to do whatever you want with the computer. It gives you file system access. It allows you to store your files in it. It allows you to run the GCC, which is the compiler for C. It allows you to run your program. It allows you to debug your program. So it's basically a computer that is not on your home. It's sitting at FIU, but you're remotely accessing it. How? Using SSH. What is SSH? It's a secure protocol that allows you to access a computer that is sitting somewhere else, not in your home. It's somewhere else, and you get connected to it with the internet. So it's very simple concept, right? It's like cloud services that you use every day. Now, as you see, it says my username, followed by an @ sign, followed by the name of the computer, which is Ocelot, and it says we are in the root directory. This tilde means we are in the root directory, and 101 means that's the very first command that I'm going to write. After that, it's going to be 102, 103, 104, 105, and then it keeps counting all the commands that you write. And then here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say ls. ls stands for list all the files, and it allows you to list all the files in the current directory. The current directory is the root. Just like in Windows or Mac, where you use mouse and like buttons on the screen and a graphic user interface, in Unix, you have basically a terminal, black and white terminal. It's not very exciting, but you can do whatever you want to do. You want to see all the directories and files, you just say ls, and that's going to list out everything for you. I'm going to get into this one. So I basically say, this is the course. So I'm going to say cd space, cd means change the directory to whatever directory you want. Here I will say cop 4338. When I press enter, as you see, the current directory now becomes cop 4338. And when I list all the files here or directories, I'll see a bunch of other directories here. And then when I say cd, let's say F824, that's another directory I created for this semester. And I can list all the files. I see a couple of files in it. But let's create, let's make a directory. Let's say mkdir, and let's say I'm going to make a directory for this section, which is RVC. And mkdir is a command for creating a directory. So far, if I want to show you all the commands that I made, I can press the up arrow key and show you the history of commands that I did. The last one was mkdir. The previous one was ls. The previous one was cd fa24. The previous one was cd cop 4338. So the previous one was something that I did before, so you don't need to see it. But you can see the history of everything by the arrow keys. The up arrow keys showed you the previous command. The down arrow key shows you the next command. So that's how you can go through the history, and you don't need to always type every command. You can choose from the previous command. So if I ls again, you see the new directory that I just created. There are not so many commands in Unix. If you learn a few of them, that's enough. ls to list everything in the current directory, cd to change the directory, mkdir to make a new directory, cat, which I'm going to use later to create a new file or see a new file, see the content of a file. We have Vim, which is a program to see the content of a file and make changes. It's a text editor, but you don't need to do everything in Unix. You can do it in your personal computer with any IDE or any text editor that you love or you like or you prefer. And then use, if you're using Windows, you can use WinSCP to move the files from your home computer to Ocelot and then compile it and run it here. Or if you're using Mac, you can install CyberDoc. Both CyberDoc and WinSCP are two softwares that use SFTP, a secure way to transfer files. And both of them are mentioned in the web page that I just showed you earlier. I told you to use. So you can have all the information using that URL that I shared with you and all the slides that I'm going to share with you after today's meeting. And the last thing I'm going to say is I'm going to create a new file with the hello world in it, and I'm going to compile the file, and I'm going to run the C program. So bear with me. Let me change the directory to RVC. I'm going to go to the current directory that I just created, the new directory, RVC. Here, I'm going to create a file using cat message. As I said, you can create your own files in your computer and then move it to Ocelot. You don't need to use cat yourself. But I'm going to cat the first file. I'm going to call this hello.c. And that's how you do it. Cat greater than hello.c. That's going to concatenate whatever you type on keyboard into the file that has name hello.c. .c is an extension for all the C files, just like the Java files that have .java extension, C files have .c extension. Now it allows me to write down the content of the file. I'm going to say $ include stdio.h. As I said, this is like including or importing a library or a package, let's say in Java. And then here I'm going to say, let's have a void main. And then here I will say void, just void, or you can just ignore the voids. And void means no input, no output. Right? And then I can open the curly brace. I can press a tab. I can print F hello world, exclamation mark, \n, which stands for new line, and then close the parentheses, close the line with semicolon, close the curly brace, and I'm going to end the file right now. To end the file in Unix, you can press Ctrl D. So I hold the Control button and press D. The first time nothing happens, but the second time I do, it ends the cat program. And now if I list all the files in this current directory, I see a new file. The folder, the directory was empty, but now after the cat, I will have a new file. The file is hello.c. I can either open it with the cat itself, and I see the content of it, or I can open it with another text editor in Unix. You don't need to know any text editor in Unix. You can use your own text editor in Windows or in Mac. You can use, let's say, Notepad or Notepad++ in Windows, or you can use, I don't know, there are many text editors. The original text editor of Mac is fine as well. But, or you can use even your own IDE. You can use Visual Studio if you want, but you need the Unix to always test your program before submitting. Because if you do everything in your own computer with your own IDE and submit it, it may not work in Ocelot. So you should always get connected to Ocelot and test your program in Ocelot before submitting. Otherwise, it may not work. So that's why I'm teaching you how to get connected to Ocelot and work with that. You can also use Vim. Vim is an editor, as I said, in Unix. If I say vim hello.c, as you see, it shows the same content in a different environment. It's a little looks a little nicer because it has like different colors and stuff, but it's not going to be a big deal to use that. I'm going to quit from the Vim. Now I'm going to compile this. Unlike Java, where you had an IDE and you press the green triangle and it compiles and run everything for you, you need to compile first and then run in Unix, because everything has to be done by you. You need to first compile and then execute. So the compiler is GCC. I will say GCC hello.c, and that's going to compile my file. And as you saw, there's no error, so you don't see any complaints about, there's a mis-syntax or there's a problem with my code. Everything is fine. If I list all the files again, you see a new file is generated after I run the GCC command. That's the output of your compilation. When you compile your file, when I compile the hello.c, a new file is generated. This is basically an executable. Executable is a file that allows you to run the program and see the outcome. So I'm going to run that program. The rule in Unix is when you're running an executable, you need to start with the path to that file. The path to the file is the current directory. The current directory in Unix is represented by a dot. So when you say dot slash, that means in the current directory, I'm looking for this executable file, which is called a.out. And that's how you run the program. When I press enter, it runs the program and it prints hello world. Now, let's say you want to change the hello world and make the H and W capital. Can you do that? Yes. Let's open it with Vim. I say vim hello.c, and I will come here and I will change the H in hello to capital letter. I change the W to a capital letter, and then I will write and quit. I change the content of hello.c. I can show you with the cat program and show you how it looks. This is the cat program that shows you the content of the file. As you see, the H is capital now and W is capital. Now, if I go back to the history and try to run the same program, unfortunately, it doesn't show me the capital H or capital W. Why? Because I've changed the file, but I did not recompile it. I need to first recompile it and then run it. If I run the executable without compiling, it's going to run the previous version with the lowercase h and lowercase w. So I need to first recompile. The recompilation would happen with the same GCC command. So GCC hello.c, I recompiled, and now I'm going to execute again with /a.out. Now you see hello world with capital H, capital W. So I just wanted to show you it's not very scary to do things in Unix. You can do everything you want in Unix, but you don't need to do everything in Unix. You can write your C program in your favorite IDE or in your favorite text editor in your home computer or in your laptop, and then transfer the files that you have written to Ocelot using if you're using Windows WinSCP or using CyberDuck if you're using Mac, and then here you can compile and run and see it works for yourself. Do not submit assignments before testing it in Ocelot because the grader uses Ocelot, and there are scenarios where your program works in Windows or your program works in Mac, but it doesn't work in Ocelot. And this way you will lose point if you don't test your program in Ocelot before submitting.